What's up, YouTube? Yeah. My name is Lloyd Phillips, host of the Life and Times podcast. This week's episode, it's between myself and the production manager, Layton Rowan. And, we had some things to talk about. Recently, I beat a world famous professional chess player in 5 moves. That basically makes me probably famous and good at chess. And then also, I'm 0 for 2 picking up hitchhikers in my life. Either way, look, we got new content coming out. There's some reaction videos, some other things that I don't necessarily love, but they want me to do because I don't think LeBron James is good at stuff, but it doesn't matter. Listen, everybody, like and subscribe to the channel. Leave comments if you want to. And we're also going to put alerts for new things that are coming out. It'll be on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So we're all excited for it. Listen, love everybody. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Life and Times podcast. I'm your host, Lloyd Phillips. Good to be back. I actually spent the last week or two thinking that this was episode 100. Turns out it's 99 because, as I recall, so long ago, the first episode was it was a pilot. I called it a pilot. So, having said that, it's kind of like an unofficial 100. But not really. We're going to save it till the next one. The next one is episode 100. Today's episode, I'm here with the editor of the show, Layton. What's up, Layton?
Howdy.
Yeah, it's good to see Layton today. And so we've really progressed since this show started because there was no editor, and then there was. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, next week will be 100, and I'm attempting to bring certain people on if you recall, like throughout these episodes, I would be like, hey, I'm going to bring this guy because I would have talks with people, and I would say, hey, you want to be on the show? And they'd say yes, contact me, and then I would, and then we'd be in contact like back and forth like 2 or 3 times, and then just nothing.
Yeah.
So I'll go over the list of who was supposed to be on the show and never showed up. I still love these guys. Kelly Pavlik, my second favorite boxer ever. Maybe first, but Mike Tyson, of course, is like the guy. But he runs his own business and he's kind of busy. Peter McNeely was supposed to be on this show. Didn't go on. The guy who invented the Sidewinder punch on TikTok. Didn't make it. I don't know. There's probably like 3-4 more. And I got a local wish list, right? So it's not like I can call Hollywood and get anybody on it. So I think I would love to have Travis Meyer on this show.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, we would learn so much about weather.
I'm down.
And farming. Because we'd know about weather and farming if he was on the show. Anyway, next week's episode 100. So I'm pretty pumped up about it.
Yeah, it's a big thing. So,
I was thinking about, what did I do this last week? I got this new job. That's what I did. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. I did that. I was on a plane. So this is actually interesting. I thought I was going to talk about it. I thought that I may, and I'm going to. So I meet this guy. His name is Kajanan. That's his name. Kajanan. I'm sorry I got it wrong. But I'm on the flight coming from Midland back to Tulsa. And what you don't know about me is I spent the first half of my flying life speaking to everybody on the plane. Like back in the day when I was on the plane, I would talk to whoever was beside me. I would start the conversation. And if they didn't speak to me, I would always think they were rude and I didn't want to talk to them anymore. Like it'd make me not like them, which is weird because the more you fly, turns out you end up being the guy where you're like, I just want to watch movies. I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Where are you from? You're not going to see him again, right?
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's the case for most flight buddies. Like you're not really going to see him again. So, coming back from Midland, there's a guy sitting beside me. I just started my movie. I noticed when he got on that he had 3 other friends with him, and they're all talking back and forth. He's from India, and they're speaking their native language, so I don't know what he's saying. But they're passing these food things back and forth. So somebody slides one in between, not our seats, but the seats in front of us. I just saw a hand with a box of food. So I glanced over just split second. I wasn't like trying to get in his business. And so when I look over, he makes eye contact with me. And he like motions for me, like, hey, do you want what's in this box? Well, I don't think I do. I don't know. I don't know what it is because it's not in English. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's good. Well, now he's talking to me, so I got to take my headphones off. Which, no, I'm a nice guy, but initially, like I said, I like to just, watch movies,
chill out, watch a movie.
Yeah, and I was in the middle of this one, and so I took them off. He said, "Oh, this is it's cashews. It's some sweet cashew treat." What I think it is right now, I think it's cashews with sugar and powdered sugar on top. That's what I think it is. I think it's crushed up cashews with that. I mean, was it good? Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it wasn't horrible. It was good. Yeah. And so he told me that that's the treat that in India, they buy these kinds of things when it's a good day for people and they give it to them. And so whatever. Oh, okay. So what I come to learn is this is his first trip to America, and he's coming to get his higher degree. He already has one, right? And he's coming to get another one. So that's it. He's coming to Stillwater, to Oklahoma State University. He's going to hang out with his friends, some that are already there, the 3 that were on the plane with him. And then he's completely leaving all of his buddies. He's going to Cincinnati. Now, I'm just giving you all this talk. I'm just telling you how it went. Why do I know this? Why? Based off of all the annoyance I said, I know this is because the conversation lasted longer than it typically would have. Because I was going to say longer than I wanted it to. But that's not true.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would have thought before, but he was actually very interesting. And so then it made the flight feel like it was 10 minutes. But I said all that story to get to this. He is a professional chess player.
Oh, wow.
That's what he does for a living. He has a professional chess school in India. It's from Mumbai, India, is where he's from. And so, and he speaks English just like I speak English. I mean, he has an accent, but he speaks perfect. So I'm like, well, did you learn this in school? And he's like, yes, we learn English forever. But he said, I watch Netflix. That's why I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a buddy that I worked with, and his name was Bhupendra. He was from India as well. And because I think I might have asked him, because he spoke really good English. And I'm always fascinated with people who can speak 2 languages really well. I'm jealous. And he was like, yeah, I watch Friends. That's how I learned English.
No, I told you that.
Yeah.
He said his favorite show is Friends. Yeah, that's what he watches.
That's
is
hilarious.
Friends. Yeah. Like he got all fired up. He didn't get all fired. I got fired up when you told me that guy watches Friends. I'm like, that's what he told me. Yeah. He's like, that's his favorite show. That's crazy.
But he was like, in all the humor that he had and how to say it, and that's where he picked it up from.
Now it's his first trip to America, so here's what I do know: he didn't pick up on certain words. Like certain, I guess it would probably be considered slang, but I wasn't like trying to make it slang. I just said something like, something he wasn't going to understand. He was talking about playing chess, and I said, "Man, have you ever beat anybody in 4 moves?" And he said, "Yes." Because he's a professional chess player. And then he got on his phone excitedly to show me like how the moves were or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so he's like, yes. And I'm like, did you make fun of him like when you beat him? I was like, were you bagging on those people when you beat them? That's what I said. Yeah. And he like stared at me like I had 3 heads. Yeah. And I'm like, did you make fun of them? Yeah. Like, did you mouth them? Like, and he's like, oh, no, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, which by the way would be like a nerdy chess thing that they would do. Cause that's not welcome to America. Listen, Kajanan, when you win games in America, you got to make fun of them, especially if you beat them really fast. Like
and 4 moves in chess. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, when you beat people in 4 moves, flip the board over and then just stand up like this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not playing you guys anymore because I just beat you in 4 moves.
And say something like, your mother should be embarrassed.
Yeah, like, you're stupid. And so, anyway, I asked him. And then he said, no, that's disrespectful. And I was like, well, do you smile? And he's like, well, only if they smile first. So I was like, okay.
That's so nice and respectful.
Oh, he was a super nice guy. And I was so excited. Like, I exchanged... it's probably the first time I've ever done this, where I exchanged Facebook and Instagrams with people. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact, I don't know. I went to an insurance conference. I may have done that there, but I think Instagram and Facebook, I think it's the first time I exchanged both with him. And I was excited because he's a professional chess player. So I was like, well, I do a little chess myself. That's what I said. I was like, because I play the computer, and computers are smarter than you are. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, let's play chess. So we put the tray table down and we played chess on the plane.
And did you win?
Yeah. Beat him in 5 moves. Still made fun of him though.
Yeah. Did you flip the board over on the plane?
Yeah, you got to know how to do it. You got to know how to do it.
Teach him. So
and he's like, he said one more. And I'm like, we're not playing one more.
Yeah, you're
like, why would I?
You're literally undefeated against him.
I'm not even a chess player for a living. And I just beat you in 5 moves.
Get over yourself.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah. So you can show our audience. I think that we should attempt to have
Silver Dollar City is not a sponsor, by the way.
No, it's not.
If you're seeing this cup I'm drinking out of.
I think we should have him over so then we can show the YouTube audience how you beat a professional chess player.
Yeah. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
He probably won't have time to get here, but if he does, I'm Facebook friends. I'll probably text message him or Facebook message him and be like, hey, you trying to do this on camera?
Yeah.
And probably not, because if he loses, his
rep would just...
his school in India is over with. Because I don't even have a ranking.
Yeah.
And I found out, because speaking of the language, because you said you were fascinated with speaking 2 languages, here's what I asked him, because he speaks English really well, and he said he speaks English all the time, and all his friends do. So I was like, okay, I got a question. I'm combining these 2 stories because I asked him this question. I said, I have a question for you. What language do you dream in? Right, but what he heard was, what's your dream? so he looked at me, and he's like, well, to be a grandmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like, so he's from India, he's like super nice, and he's very nice. But so when he asked him, he thought we were getting deep, with the conversation.
Yeah.
I wasn't like trying to get deep. I was, and he like stared at me with the extra twinkle in his eye. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. That's actually awesome. But something like way less than that. What language do you dream in? Like when you're in the dream, like what do you say this or that? Like, and then he laughed. And he's like, and he starts thinking. He's like, I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'll get back to you.
Yeah. See, I've never thought about that. I've asked a person whose first language wasn't English what they thought in, like what are their thoughts internally in, and they're like, that's the stupidest question I've ever heard. But it's like whatever comes first.
I don't think that's a dumb question.
I didn't think so either, but the way they responded was like,
no, because I don't even know if it's going to come out. I don't feel like it was the best thing, but you wanted me to do those reaction videos to LeBron James. We're not even going to get into this. You've heard on the other podcast, he thinks LeBron James is the greatest player ever, and it's just pure stupidity. Anyway, so like he wants me to do this reaction video. And what was I talking about?
I don't know, but quick plug. Go to YouTube and type in Life and Times Podcast. We will be uploading more content. It will be the podcast and other types of Lloyd content. So if you enjoy Lloyd, you think it's funny, go to YouTube.
That's not even going to be funny because I was mad. I wasn't even trying to be funny because the whole thing was pure stupidity.
When I was editing it, me seeing you mad was hysterical at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It wasn't funny at all.
Funny.
I watched it. And as watching it, I just was like, it's not funny. People are going to think that I just am a mad guy all the time. What was I saying? Where's I going with that?
I think LeBron James is the best, but we're not going to get into it.
No. Before that, it doesn't matter because you started plugging stuff we don't even want to talk about. What was I saying? I don't remember.
We were talking about the second languages, and then I asked the question, what do you think of, or how do you think?
Oh, that's where I was going. So when I was watching the reaction video, my reaction when I see the very first shot was where he jumped off a rocket like a lake.
Because he's a superhuman.
And all I thought was, that's stupid. But I said it because I'm supposed to do a reaction video. But like in my head, though, I'm like, why are we watching? This is dumb.
Yeah.
Like in my head, actual English language, I'm like, this is dumb. Why are we watching this? So there is a thought.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. So I didn't know if they thought in like French Canadian or if they thought in English.
My friend from India.
Oh,
They didn't think French Canadian.
the guy that I asked.
Oh yeah. Well, so anyway, but he said so. I talked with him the whole hour, and it felt like the plane ride lasted 5 minutes, and so, I saw him there at the baggage claim, and I was like, all right, man, because we had already exchanged the thing, and so I was like, I'll keep in touch because I just want to see where he goes. Because if this guy ends up being a grandmaster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I should probably put him on the podcast soon anyway, just because it's fascinating. Like, how do you become a
that would be a
player?
very cool story.
Yeah, because even if you're not into chess, even if you don't know how to play chess, just how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
So even though I'm not like this hardcore chess player, I mean, I guess I am. I guess I'm close to a grandmaster. I beat him in 5 moves, but but what do you do to progress to that level? And maybe playing checkers. Maybe you get that far playing checkers.
I have no clue how to play chess. I've never even attempted to. So,
well, I'm one of the greatest checker players on the planet. So,
yeah.
And that's what he said after I beat him in 5 moves. He's like, "Oh my gosh, do you play checkers?" And I'm like, "Yes."
I would have told him, "You don't even want to play me in checkers."
Yeah, I do. Well, I guess it's obvious. I said because checkers takes more skill than chess.
Oh yeah, it's a superior board game.
Yeah, you just call it different things. Mm-hmm. I could call it whatever I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
In checkers. Yeah, J12 moves to Ezekiel 13. People don't know about the checkers. So, Kajanin. And so he's here and he loved it. I texted him the next day. I was like, how's your first day in the United States? He's like, I loved it. I had great food. Which is also what I told him. I was like, hey, man, look, here's what you're going to find in America. People are going to be typically a little more chubby than where you're from, and it's because of the food.
Was he surprised by that because he saw your top-notch physique?
No, he said, is everybody built like you in America? And I was like, no, man, a lot of people are chubby. Yeah, that's what I said.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, man, yeah, okay. So that's all he said.
Yeah, man. I just feel bad for him that the first place he was touching down was just in Tulsa. For like your first ever experience.
Officially, he, walked out into American soil. He landed down in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
But only in the airport.
Yeah.
And then so Tulsa was his first. So Stillwater was his first thing. Like, so this is America, and he came from Mumbai, 20 million people. Yeah. I looked it up. That's why I know there's 20 million people. Because I said on the thing, he's like, is Tulsa a big city? I'm like, well, it's a city. I was like, it has 1 million people.
Yeah.
I was like, but it's not. I was like, it's a city. That's all I said. Like, I said that like 2 times. I was like, how many people does Mumbai have? And he said, and he just laughed. And I'm like, what? He's like, I was like, 15 million? He's like, probably.
Goodness.
Yeah, there's 20 million.
Yeah, that's insane.
One thing, and then we'll stop talking about my buddy who I beat in 5 moves. What he was fascinated by, because we flew out of Dallas and then into Tulsa, was the way the cities were laid out. Because it's all in grids, in the United States, the cities. Mm-hmm. So the way the cities were laid out, as we know, grids, perfect lines all over. And he said, and he was fascinated by it. He said, because in India and Mumbai, they just put houses on top of houses.
Yeah.
And it doesn't,
it's just stacked up on top of each other.
The roads are, you don't even, there's no like straight roads.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, maybe in city center, I don't know. I haven't been there, but I would imagine. And so I asked him, I said, man, when did Mumbai become a city? Because if you think about the United States, all of these cities are laid out in the, well, I guess if you go East Coast, 1700s, but laid out in 1800s, 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
So they already kind of had those maps. They modeled it after something.
Yeah.
But if your city has existed since, I don't even know. I'm probably blowing it. But if your city's 2,000 years old, I don't know. I just think you winged it back then.
Yeah. Oh, because if they didn't have anything to reference, then
I feel like this crooked line is a little straight.
It'll work. Who's gonna see it?
Yeah, I don't know, but Mumbai, good place. Anyway, Kajanin, hope it's good. Guess I'll move on from that. So many people are like, because he's a professional chess player. Is what I'm talking about. How many famous people you know?
Hey, don't yell at the audience.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, guys. No, that wasn't actually at all the audience. That was just for the judgers.
Oh, the people that are like,
Yeah.
is he talking for 20 minutes about chess?
Just for the judgers is who that was for.
Judgers out there, if you don't like listening to this, just go watch the YouTube video.
Oh yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Don't judge so much where you just don't watch any of it. Just go watch the YouTube video.
Yeah, and I mean, you could just play it in the background, like, subscribe, and that'll be good enough. Thank you.
Yeah, that's real good. Hey, this is just a random thought I had here. Have you seen the preview for the new movie Beast?
I have not.
Do you even know what it's about?
Mm-mm.
Well, my random thought, and it's only a random thought. We're not even going to talk about it. It's just a random thought I had. I saw the preview for the new movie Beast, and really, all the movie is almost identical. Is Jurassic Park, but with regular animals, like lions and elephants.
And what is your thought on that?
I mean, even if you go to the movie and you think it's entertaining, it literally is Jurassic Park with regular animals. So I don't know. They probably even got a pit bull in the back of the park somewhere.
Who approved some of these things?
I don't know. Like that. That's what I don't know, right? Because I was on an extra in that movie, and I talked about it at some point a couple of times recently. But you read the plot, and it's not good. Like, it doesn't look good. Like, so for all the people that write movies out there, and they turn it in and they cross their fingers and hope it's good. Like, how terrible are those movies actually that get denied? Because then you get some movies that make it to the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
And I even think, to like dumb it down from that, when I watch TV and I see commercials and it's for big companies and corporations, they're not funny. I just don't know how. I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm like, how in the world does somebody get paid to be a creative at these companies? And then they put this stuff out like it's hilarious.
I don't know. They might have dreamed it up. Everybody, you got to create things different ways. Everybody's different. Sorry for the interruption, everybody. I was just sorry for interrupting the show. I was just going to tell you, hey, I need you to know that people say, where did you get that lavish beard? And I say, well, the lavish beard I grew because I'm a lavish beard grower. But the reason it's so silky smooth is because I use Winchester Ranch Beard Co. products. Top oils on the market. I've been using them for years, or last year because it just started. But that's why my face looks so good. Tell your friends and use that. Okay? Talk to you later. Forgot one. American Survival Co., everybody. American Survival Co. They're the top survival school in the entire world. I know when everything for my survival needs, that's why I use American Survival Co. Go check out their website at americansurvivalco.com. Get all the details and information about team building exercises and all the things that you can do. It's really an awesome place. And the two guys who own the place, they're also the host of the new Netflix show, Snowflake Mountain. And that's awesome. Go check them out. Now back to the show. Love you. Now, speaking of random ideas for movies, you have to make your own. You got to make your own stories. Is that the word? Mm-hmm. You're speaking. I don't even know how I thought about this, but you ever picked up a hitchhiker?
No.
Never?
Never.
Like, did you almost pick up one?
Yes.
Well, okay. I'll let you say. Why did you not? Because you almost did. Why didn't you? What's up?
Because in the back of my mind, if I do, then I'm going to die.
Oh, I'm 0 for 2 on hitchhikers.
From death?
Well, they didn't kill me twice, but I am 0 for 2. Because, well, it's not like your neighbor broke down. Your neighbor could break down on the highway. That's why, sometimes people, you strike it rich and it's a whatever. But for me, no, the first person. The first person I ever picked up in a car was a guy walking down the highway, and to me, he looked like he didn't look like my grandpa, but he looked like a grandpa. So I picked him up, and he was a nice guy. He was he got in. We're talking. I was like, "Hey man, how are you?" It was hot outside. I was actually headed to St. Louis at the time, and he was going towards St. Louis. So I stopped and picked him up. And so as we're talking, he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm just trying to get to St. Louis." So I was like, "Well, you're in luck today."
Yeah.
So I pull over, but he had just got out of prison yesterday. That day. Yesterday he's got. So yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. I look, man.
Yeah, that means nothing. To be fair, that doesn't mean anything.
To be honest, it does mean like. Look, there's good people in prison. There's some crazy ones too, but there's some good people in prison, right? So
yeah, that's a fact.
So we're driving, and the conversation was fine, but the whole time I'm like, man, this guy just got out of prison. Like, what? I was just ready. I told him too. Like when we got in, I did. I'm like, hey, bro, I don't really pick up hitchhikers. You're the first one ever, so I don't know what your intents are. What your intention is. Hopefully, it's just a ride. But if it's not. I'm ready to roll if you are.
Yeah.
I swear I said it in the first 30 seconds because I just wanted to at least have it in his head if that was his thought. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, right? But that's why I told him. And he was cool. And the only weird part, which wasn't like super weird, but like I pulled over to get gas on whatever road that is to St. Louis, 412 St. Louis? Whatever, man, 44,
yeah.
Whatever goes to St. Louis. So I pull over and I... It wasn't awkward, but I got out of the car and I said, "Hey, sir, no offense, but can you get out of the car while I'm getting gas?" Like,
yeah.
So that was like the only awkward thing. And he laughed, and I'm gonna guess the guy was probably 65 years old. And he laughed.
Wow.
I'm gonna go 60. He wasn't that old. He was between 55 and 60 probably.
Yeah.
And so he got out, and I got gas. I got him food. I'm like, man, I said, eat something.
Yeah.
And so it's cool. I took him to St. Louis all the way. Now, that was when I say 0 for 2. I just mean the guy was fine, but when he told me he got out of prison, I'm like, man, is it going to be cool or not? I don't know. So I was always on edge. That's really all I meant for 0 for 2 because I was a little on edge. The second time, because I grew up in this little town, Locust Grove, and I was coming from Salina. And then I'm just saying it for anybody that knows. For anybody who doesn't, the town's 6 miles away, and I was like going into the town. Well, it's a lake community. They both border a lake. And I was driving across a bridge, and I see a woman silhouette in the shadows because it's dark at night. It's probably 1 a.m. And she's jumping up and down, waving her arms. And so I pull over because I don't know what's up. Now there's just this real skanky bar.
Yeah.
Just from where she was waving her arms about 200 yards.
Yeah.
About 100 yards. And she was on the highway though. So I thought, maybe she's in trouble. Now, which is really dumb. Now, I'm not like trying to get into the murder shows, but that's how people get murdered also because because I pulled over to help her. I didn't know who was going to come from the other side of the road, which, in hindsight, probably not the smartest thing I did, but I pull over and I started to roll my window down. So my window was actively rolling down. And so I was like, going to ask, like, are you okay? You need help? And my door slung open. When I say slung open, like it slung open where it just wasn't open. Like it slung up where it rocked back and forth when it hit the hinge. And in a split second, remember, my window's rolling down. I think I'm going to talk to somebody, and my door slung open, and a lady jumps in, and all in a split second, she's already in the car. She's got a leg in. When she pokes her head in and I see her face, she is actively right then on some... She's not scared of drugs. I don't know. I don't know what drug. Yeah. I'm not the drug. I don't do them or whatever, so I don't know. But she's on something, like 100%. And she's like, give me a ride. And I'm like, what? She's like, give me a ride. And I was like, crap, man, because I thought I was helping somebody, like maybe No, there's none of that. She's like, I just live right up the road. That's what she said. I just live right up the road. And I said, okay, well, she was already in. There's nothing I could do. And I know there's kids that listen, so I'm going to eliminate the proposition that she made in the first 15 seconds to get the ride. I'm like, no, ma'am, you're fine. We're already in. You just hang out. I'll take you to where we're going. And so now at this, from where that location was, the town that I lived in, Locust Grove, was probably 3 miles away. Mm. Well, by that point, I mean, she's moving, like she can't stop moving, you know, it's like, whatever she's telling me. That's what everything sounded like, whatever she was telling me. And so I was like, well, ma'am, because at the time I was probably 19, 20 years old. I was like, well, ma'am, I'm going to pull over to the store and get a drink, which I don't know, you know, like even in her mind where she's not all the way there. The reason I was pulling over that store is because it was a Locust Grove police officer was at the store. And I was like, ma'am, I'm going to pull in here. I'm going to get something to drink real fast. Like, no, keep going. Keep going. And I'm like, no, it's cool. Nope. And I was like, okay, but also, once again, in hindsight, why? Because she wasn't going to even beat me. I mean, she might have got physical, but she wasn't going to hurt me. Like, I could have pulled in there and just put it in park and just be like, hey, man, there's a live one out there.
Yeah, get this crazy lady.
But I didn't, because she kept saying, I just live right up the road. So I said, okay. I don't remember what happened after I passed the store. Although I don't remember like the conversations, but about 45 miles later is where I dropped her off. In Disney, Oklahoma, Langley, Oklahoma, which probably would have been what I drove through the town. I got on the turnpike. I like drove down the turnpike however many miles. I got off, and when I took wherever I took her, it was at a trailer house in the middle of nowhere, like absolutely nowhere, no city. And so now I'm like nervous, but which is so dumb, but I'm already committed. And she's like, I live up here. And I was telling her like 3-4 minutes because I knew I was in the middle of nowhere. I roughly knew where I was at but it was dark, so I didn't. I said, listen, lady, let me tell you something. When we pull up at whatever house you're in, I don't want to talk. I'm not meeting anybody. Get out. Yeah. Like immediately, because I get out. And so she's like, okay. And I was like, no, like get out, like immediately. Well, I pull up at this random trailer in the middle of nowhere, and I put it in park, and she hadn't got out yet, and she's like, I want you to come meet people. I'm like, I'm not meeting anybody. Like, get out. And so I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, you gotta get out though. Like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta go. So she luckily got out, but when she got out, somebody came to the door and flipped the light on and was walking out to the car, and I was like. And she's like, but she got out to talk to who was walking. And she's like, yeah, but she's like, I want you to meet. And I just drove off.
Yeah, I would have been gone.
Oh, yeah. Drove all the way. Yeah. I'm just saying like I'm 0 for 2. I'm really, the way I told the story, if you listen to it, maybe I'm 1 for 1. But, But that lady was crazy.
You might be 2 for 2.
To this day, I have never, not one time, ever picked up another hitchhiker. Ever. And to be honest, I don't know if I will. Like, I've thought about this before. I mean, if it's an old lady walking on the highway and she's like, and she's older, maybe I got some qualifying questions first. Mm-hmm. I don't care if she's an 85-year-old lady. Yeah. I'm like, ma'am, where did you come from? And what are you doing? And tell me your story first. Where are you from?
And pass this drug test that I'm carrying around on me before.
Yeah, and code test. Now you got to throw that in. For sure. Pass this COVID and drug test, ma'am. Get in here. Yeah, I'm just saying I'm 0 for 2. I'm just 0 for 2.
Yeah, I'm 0 from 0. And after hearing those stories, I don't plan on picking anybody up. So,
yeah, man, what just wild times. Well, look, everybody, as I've said at the first of the episode, next week is episode 100. All the way 100. And when I started this, I remember thinking. Well, I didn't know how to do it. I was always like, oh, what do you do? I didn't know what to do. Well, literally, you just you just do it.
You just do it.
Yeah, because if you don't do it, it's not good. Now, here's the thing. I don't even know if I progressed in 100 episodes.
No.
I think by episode 6, they just all sounded the same, but but it's weird how you get to this part. So 100 in, and I have somebody that edits now. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, you got to get. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Layton. You got to get close to 100 though before you do that.
Oh yeah.
Before somebody's like, "Well, I just want to see if you were just going to have some commitment," which is actually weird because I've had the least amount of commitment like the last 10 shows. I don't even know where I fell off, but anyways, I'm excited. So episode 100 is going to be next week. Now, listen, I don't even know how this is going to be possible. If Travis Meyer would agree to do this show. If people listen all over the world. So if you're not from the if you're not from the U.S. for sure, but even if you are here locally, because we live in Tornado Alley, there's this guy, he's the meteorologist, and he's been around since I was a kid. I don't know when he started, but I don't know any other weatherman in my life who has been there the same amount of time. He was there when I was 3, as far as I remember, and he's still there. And to this day, in Tornado Alleyville, when there's a tornado, if Travis Meyer's not the one giving the information, tornadoes are probably not really coming.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah.
And if you're one of the sick people that live here that don't watch him, I mean, I'll pray harder for you tonight.
As a child, we grew up watching Channel 8 or KTUL. That's what we grew up. That's where Travis Meyer was. And then he switched over to where he's at now. And, I remember thinking like, why are you because I thought Channel 8 was I was like, why are you doing that, Trav? Then everybody still watches Travis, and I don't even know. I don't even watch local news anymore, but I'm just saying.
I mean, to be fair, the Channel 6 had the legend Dick Furrow before Travis.
To be fair, nobody's even heard him compared to Travis.
I'm not going to. I could probably debate this almost just as hard
You're
as I
not
can.
going to debate it. Jim Giles was better than he was. See how this goes?
Jim Giles is a legend. I'll give him
These
that.
are local debates, everybody. Anyway, I'm sorry. We got off sidetracked because I'm not saying Layton doesn't have good points. He does. But
just like LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan.
Unless it's like dumb stuff like that. And then we're not going to talk about it. Listen, everybody, thanks for listening to the episode. And, put old Petey in the Hall of Fame. And next week, the next episode is going to be number 100. All right, love everybody. You guys have a good night.